Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another brand new episode of Fake News Show. You know how we do it here every week, talking about how to get you informed, not disinformed or misinformed, but to stay well informed. All right, on Fake News Show, to know the effect of misinformation on you, your business, on your health, your mental health, on the society as a whole, you know. That's what we talk about. All right, so thank you for joining us on this episode of Fake News Show. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, I'll tell you what we are going to discuss. This one different to this episode. Wait, make I tell you. Are they come?
Seller.
Then they tell many lies, but most of the time, I don't listen to them.
Now sellers,
I tell me, maybe them buy something like 300 naira inside market. If you ask them, maybe they will tell you them about it 7,000 naira. Understand? Maybe you put 500 on top before they sell it for you. That kind of lie. Understand? That's what they lie.
I can't judge. It's just like police and politician. We are the same thing.
me I'm a businessman. I'm in like pass so now they like my own, no be small thing. Sometimes I go buy market same price. I will carry the 5 ones, put this place 1,500. The ones 105, put this place 1,000 naira. But on the same price I buy them.
Bro, I don't buy wares where we say I go another store. The price is very cheap. I get people where we say that they sell wares, but they dey into wares. But if I tell them say that this price I buy, they go tell me say they don't scam me.
But because of say I won't make up our money, so that one 1,500. If you come and show you the one we don't find 1,000 naira, the one we find 1,500. You got to buy that 1,500.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Fake News Show. Today, we're going to be analyzing misinformation and disinformation, analyzing fake news. The journey so far, how are we doing? How are we faring? What are the challenges? What are the victories? CDD West Africa is bringing you this show every week. We've been coming to your screens at this time with Fake News Show via yours truly. So today we're going to be talking to the director of CDD West Africa, Center for Democracy and Development, Hidayat Hassan. She's in the building right now to discuss with me analyzing fake news or misinformation and disinformation. All right, let's go there because let's talk. Hello, Fake News Show here. Welcome back. This segment, you know how we do it. Let's talk. What are we talking about today? Another very important personality is in the studio with me. I'm going to be having this conversation with her. In the person of the director of CDD West Africa, Center for Democracy and Development. No other person but Hidayat Hassan. She's right here with me. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for always granting this request. I know say my while I'm many, plenty, but we guys do them. We're looking at the analysis of the spread of disinformation in Nigeria. So far, I know your establishment, CDD West Africa, has been working on fact-checking and on the issue of disinformation, misinformation, or what we call fake news for about 2 years now, January 2018, thereabout. So far, what's the journey been like?
I think that it's really been an interesting one. It's been one where even us as CDD, we have evolved in our tactics. But I think positively is the fact that citizens are beginning to become more alert to the dangers that fake news actually pose to the polity. And in their own little way, they are fact-checking information. So if you check social media now, you find a lot of people that once they see some news, they immediately counter it, bringing information to do that. I think so. We really have to applaud Nigerians in terms of their reaction to this. And but beyond that also, it's good to say that within that period, that in almost 30 months that we've started this, we have seen other institutions come up to start it, such that now we are even making a differential between organizations such as us, who have several fact-checking desk and initiative, and who does a lot in terms of civic engagement, to the media, who are like fact-checking organizations. That is just what they actually do. So it's been an interesting period, and there has been positives as well as there has actually been negatives. Our tactics have changed. Tactics have changed also in terms of the peddlers of disinformation and how they do it, what they do itself, the sophistication, but most importantly, the broad collaboration of citizens, organizations, the media who are actually involved in this has been able to counteract it and establish the danger it portends, such that citizens are becoming wary of the news they actually consume.
Wow, that's impressive. It's good to know that now people are asking questions. You just not forward that WhatsApp message to 10 people and then everybody forwards. So, but what specific challenges have you noticed or have you faced in terms of fact checking, first of all, then misinformation and disinformation?
I think for fact checking, most times is the access to information. So previously, especially when it comes to government organization, you want to get information, and not just information, timely information, to respond to some of these fake news. They are never timely in terms of responses. And once they are not timely, fact checking has its own disadvantage too. It has its own challenge. The challenge is that the fake news, the resonance of that fake news is always higher than the counter, because it's already in an ecosystem, and counteracting it in that ecosystem becomes extremely difficult. So when information is not, almost like you are battling it fire with fire. So as it's coming, you are counteracting. At times 3 days, 4 days, government agencies will not respond. Weeks, they will not respond. And if you don't have factual information, the integrity of the information you are putting out there becomes difficult.
Exactly.
And at times when they respond to, they don't respond in the way it should actually be. It might look again as if we are doing propaganda on behalf of the organization or the institution that is actually involved. And we also will care about our credibility, facts and figures. Then there are also some facts that should actually be in the public domain. It doesn't even need us to contact this institution. You just find that those facts, which Nigeria, for instance, have a Freedom of Information Act, we have signed on to the Open Government Partnership. All these readily available facts, if they are put online already, it makes it very easier to actually counter fake news. But because they are not there in the public domain, it makes our work quite onerous in doing that, and the information put out not as weighty as it is. So there are many we will just have to drop. Then there are some also, but I also think that what the security forces they've done in the last couple of months, or like a year plus, is also worth commending too, in terms of their responses to some of the fake news. Not just their responses to us, at times they issue presses releases. So once we approach them and we say we want information, in few minutes they issue press statements on it. Then it's very easy. So it's easy, but also maybe the contenting of the press,
it's not the way it should be.
It should not the way it should actually be.
You spoke about the government agencies being slow, and hence a void being created, or a delay that makes the resonance of the fake news, louder and more powerful than the rebuffing. Why have you been able to know exactly why this is so? Is it bureaucracy? Is it nonchalance? Why is it that to get information from government agencies or government officials is always a headache?
I think it's a culture of secrecy. So in this country, there is a culture of secrecy. And that's why I made reference to the fact that with FOI Open Government Partnership, some are even already public information that you don't even need to get their response. You can go online and you can counteract the figure. So most times they say how much is being spent on the palliative, for instance. there is, if we are going by the OGP partnership that we signed, all this information should be readily available in the public domain.
Are they?
The level of information, they are not. So you don't even need to get to the ministry or collaborating ministries who are actually in charge before this can be rebuffed. But because they are not in public domain, it makes it very difficult. So that's the culture of secrecy. But it is happening because of the lack of trust. They believe that, oh, even if I go and report, what happens? And these little things are what adds to it. These little things that because government is not doing the right thing, there are also some actors who are out there to ensure that everything government does is not right. Then government sits and folds their hands and say, let us move on.
That trust is something very important that I want us to explore, because I want you to share your experience with us in terms of when it comes to institutions giving legitimate information, like you said, facts and figures. Do we have the right people in the right place? Are people safe? Do people feel confident to people talking to institutions? Is there a response directly through technology? For example, one of the easiest ways to talk to CDD West Africa, for example, you tweet at us. The Twitter handle is right here at home. You can see it. CDD West Africa, send us a mail. You know, those kind of things. If they're not there for. So this trust issue feedback system, I want you to share your idea with us. Well, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll launch into it. The second half go tough. Not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
1, 2, 3. Now I can send these stories to my brother. He must share it with my mother.
What are you sending to your aged mother?
Come and read. I found these stories on the internet.
Wait, did you verify these stories to be sure they are facts?
Verify? Why?
Have you not heard that it is important for you to always verify stories by doing these 5 before sharing them?
5 things? That's too much for just one story.
First, check the headline if it's sensational. Check the news sites that published it to ensure it's credible. You double check to make sure the same piece has been published by other credible media organizations.
Oh, really?
Yes, check the dates the story was published, and finally, seek experts' opinion and possibly advice on the report.
Wow. I'll quickly verify these by checking the headline, date, source, and seek experts' opinion before I forward them to my brother and mother.
This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. You should only share information from credible sources.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Fake News Show, and you know this segment as they do. Let's talk. Before the break, we were talking about trust. One of the reasons why you have fake news or misinformation and disinformation, according to what you have said, is when accurate information is not in the public domain. Information that we don't need to kill ourselves on top. You spend money, government institution, put it on your website. With my 200 MB data, I can log in and find out. You collected donation from X, Y, and Z. How did you spend it? You sent relief material to this place and this. Put picture, name for people that collected had. Why is it so difficult to build trust when it comes to misinformation or fake news?
I think that trust is not just about misinformation or fake news. Trust is the quotient that a state needs to actually move. And what disinformation has done is that it has completely broken trust. It's widened the gap with trust. I think it's a culture. Like I keep saying, it's a culture where people feel like there is no accountability. So if we have a very wide and a broad accountability platform entrenched in our system, you do many things without people asking for it. And trust will not be a scarce commodity between the citizens and the
but whose job
government.
Is it to grow that
it's
trust?
Government. So how are trust broken? Trust are broken because our government do not deliver the essentials. Government has told people A in most places, they have done Z. You even see during campaigns, people will say A, they will deny their campaign promises. And when they are not denying their campaign promises, when they get into office, they don't even implement any of those promises.
Some of them are even difficult to reach. They stop picking your
Yeah,
calls.
they
stop
change their
responding.
phone number. And you know, it's not just elected government officials, but also government appointees. The only difference is also that some of the government institutions have actually created Twitter handle. some are very responsive. So if I say the Nigerian military, I'm not saying they are responsive. To be this, you edit me. Like the Nigerian military, for instance, when you send them a DM, like a direct message on Twitter, our experience has been that they've always responded.
As individuals or as an
organization.
Okay.
So as our response as CDD is that they will respond to us. At times they will say, okay, we will get back to you with a press statement, or we should wait for our press statement. So I think that is so that is that. I think for the police too, it's been that. In fact, we recently trained the police on identifying, responding to fake news, and helping them to understand how fake news actually works in this.
With respect to the security or armed forces that you mentioned, because it's also very important, trust is also eroded when people think, the citizens think the government or the government arms are only bothered about what they want to be bothered about. Then people to turn the other way. You know, we had a conversation with a government official here, and he said sometimes the youth, you know, we are easy to say the youth don't care about politics. They are not asking the right questions. But again, if they have the feeling that you only address what you want to address, then they will lose interest. For example, I've seen I personally follow the security agency social media handles, the Army HQ and police, and I see them debunk a couple of fake news items, but if people tweet at them that we saw a man in your force, or we saw one of your men abuse his office or powers, we seldomly don't get right response. The police is doing more of that now, but aside the police, I don't see a lot of that happening.
I think it's a policy of pick and choose. And it's not just the security forces, it's government as a whole. Then beyond that, we should not also take the fact that the government also use disinformation as a strategy themselves. So they cannot, maybe we may not be talking a lot about it on this platform today, but they use it as a strategy. So if you take many places where there are conflicts, ongoing conflicts in this part in some parts of the country, you find that the disinformation ecosystem there is fueled three ways. One is by the security agencies, another by the citizens causing unnecessary challenges for the security, then thirdly by the maybe insurgents or the criminal groups there. So you see at times that they will completely deny what has happened. How should security deny what has happened in broad daylight, where there are videos circulating, videos that have been checked, and you know that they have been authenticated by actors? Nobody again puts out videos. So for instance, you can't put out videos for us and we are going to take it to client and sinker. We can't even take any fact check if we have not done all the normal technological review of this platform. And with each day, we are becoming more sophisticated. So if you see now, automation is the future, because with automation, it allows us to collect so much more evidence compared to manual collection. We are deploying machine learning to even further understand what is actually happening. Aside from the fact that we are training and we have shows like this across the country. So it might be in form of radio, not necessarily a TV show, that is actually working as a civic literacy platform to educate people on the danger of fake news.
What do you think we need to do more as a people, as a government, as a nation?
I think that we need to prioritize civic literacy, really. We have to start engaging in such a way that people become even scared of any news that comes. Then they can be sure to look at the steps and know that it is not fake news. So how do you identify fake news? The steps must actually be followed such that you don't go and forward. And fake news is not just on social media. Fake news is there, and in real life they are every day what is wrong, that we grapple with. It's as old as society itself. It's only that with with social media, it's become much more expansive compared to what it used to be. So I think civic literacy is important, and with civic literacy, we have to start with children, imbibing, learning it in the kids really from childhood so that they can be able to sort facts from fiction.
Finally, for government, how well have they done in terms of being open and responding to information or misinformation and decreasing secrecy around governance?
I think I'll give them 2.5. They still have a lot to do.
That is the director, CDD West Africa, Hidayat Hassan. She gave you 2. Not me give you 2. You gave them 2.5. I come out the half. By the power vested on me on this show, I removed the half. I keep my half for myself. I didn't say anything. Thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the director of CDD West Africa, Hidayat Hassan. She's been talking about, analyzing disinformation so far in Nigeria. Not go anywhere, because the same way they come after this segment, so you're not going to expect time. Stay with us on Fake News Show. We'll be right back.
Yes, fake news is something that is not genuine.
You see, much people out there, the problem with you now, any small information that you got, you want to go ahead and spread it. You didn't even bother to confirm the ferocity and capacity of that statement. You just believe that, okay, sweet gist, let me go ahead and spread it. Meanwhile, you are spreading rumor, you are spreading a false information. Oh my God, you are the problem of everybody in this world. And peradventure, you yourself, you are in a position of high standing. Understand, you are a person of high caricature in society. You still go ahead and give your citizen misinformation. It's not good. Don't spread the fake news. Stop it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I told you we've been analyzing the spread of disinformation and misinformation with the Oga Patapata of CDD West Africa in Nigeria, Hidayat Hassan. We've been discussing the challenges, the victories, the journey so far, the innovations in tackling misinformation and disinformation. She talked about a few ways to recognize, identify misinformation. Take responsibility as a citizen. Take responsibility as a leader yourself. Don't spread fake news. Join the conversation. Hashtag stop fake news. Hashtag fake news show. On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or social media platforms. Let's talk about it. CDD West Africa also has a fact-checking responsibility, and they've been doing that for a while now. In this next report, they're going to tell us a few fake news items that they have debunked. Let's see what they have to say.
CDD Fact Check Report. Fake News Alert.
Has WHO finally approved Madagascar's COVID-19 organics? Fact checkers at the CDD can confirm that WHO has not approved Madagascar's COVID-19 organics as a cure for coronavirus. CDD urges members of the public to read beyond headlines before sharing any news reports.
CDD Fact Check Report. Fake News Alert.
Is President Buhari the most followed African leader on Twitter? The claim that President Buhari is the most followed leader in Africa on Twitter is false. CDD fact checkers can confirm that Egyptian president, Al-Sisi official, is the most African leader on Twitter with 4,133,263 followers as at the 10th of July 23rd, 2020.
You see, that was CDD West Africa debunking some news items that turned out to be not so accurate. Not so accurate. That is why you and I have to take responsibility as citizens, as human beings, wherever we are. Not every information forwarded to your phone should be swallowed hook, line, and sinker. Verify, ask questions. You are responsible for what goes out of your phone, even if you are not responsible for what comes into your phone. Verify, ask questions. Don't just do garbage in, garbage out. Ask yourself, this gist is sweet now. You not verify, it is sweet here. Gist is sweet like that. Rumor is sweet until it turns to your tongue. Now, you know say they pain that time. How would you feel if somebody spread false information about you? How would you feel as a leader if somebody did what you are doing to your followers to you? Confuse you, deceive you, take advantage of you because you give them false information to get into power. And now, to fulfill, can't hard you. Excuse come plenty. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Now we may talk. Now all our parties talk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another wonderful episode of Fake News Show. Let's know your thoughts. Tweet at us at CDD West Africa. If it's me, at @FranDonga_. Let's know what you think. What else do you want us to bring on? What do you want to talk about? Let's discuss it on Fake News Show. Until another episode is brought to your way next week, I'm saying thank you for joining us and stay out of trouble.
Fake News Show is an initiative of Center for Democracy and Development with support from USAID through the National Democratic Institute.